Welcome to Around the Kinky Campfire. Grab a seat, pour a drink, and let's turn up the heat. This is the podcast where we explore the wild, wonderful, and sometimes wicked world of kink, BDSM, and alternative lifestyles. Whether you're a seasoned player, a curious newbie, or just here for the stories, we've got something for you. Join us on Thursdays on your favorite podcast platform as we share experiences, dive into deep discussions, and may even spark a little fire of your own. No shame, no judgment, just real talk around the kinky campfire. Let's get lit. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Around the Kinky Campfire. This is your host, Julius Marquez. I have another great episode for you once again on this Thursday, Thor's Day here, okay? And before we get into it, as you know, it is time for the ASMR 5 seconds. And once again, we have another unsponsored drink. It is early in the week, so not so much adult beverages, but something I love very much to get the energy going. It is the sparkling iced caffeine, blue raspberry flavor. Oh, so delicious. Not sponsored, though, but here we go. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, all that. It's so cold. Ooh, man. Yeah, I don't think we only got to like 2 seconds there, but still delicious nonetheless. No countdown, just straight into it. Okay. Very important topic we have for you today. And of course, I'm going to get to it as much as I can, but I'm not going to get through everything per the usual. But here we go. All right. So today's episode is the ocean personality traits. Okay, this is a very important personality test, personality traits, because it's the only one backed by science, okay? If you guys didn't know that, all your little Hogwarts, who you are, Lord of the Rings, the Hogwarts, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Simpsons character, Avatar character, whoever, is not backed by science. But this one actually is. Even Myers-Briggs, that one too. So all the legit personality tests that you take, even astrology, is not backed by science, okay? So I wanted to bring one here for you today that is legit, and it is the Ocean Personality Traits test, or it can be a test, and you can figure out what your personality traits are. And I want to go over these very briefly with the limited time that I have for you, okay? All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about what OCEAN means. It is an acronym, okay? The Ocean Personality Test stands for O, openness, C, conscientiousness. I got that one, big word. I can spell big words too. Okay, and extraversion, extraversion. That's funny. You put them together, it just looks like extraversion. Which kind of version is it? Extra. Okay, A is agreeableness, and then N is neuroticism. Neuroticism. Interesting, okay? So this is a big distinction between your personality trait and a habit. I want to make that very clear. Just because you have a trait that is that way does not mean you cannot work on your habits, something you've heard me talk about many times on this podcast, that you can work on habits. They do not need to control you. Okay. All right, let's see. So first of all, openness is measures your creativity, your curiosity, and willingness to experience new things. So let's work on that neuroplasticity, people. How willing you are to try something different. I went full Yoda there, and I'm totally fine with that. How willing are you to try something different? All right, learn something new, get out that comfort zone. Now you see why Julius decided to pick this as a topic, all right? Because the whole test, backing up what I said before. Okay, conscientiousness, it measures self-discipline, or organization and diligence. For some reason, I have a weird problem with saying organization. Got through conscientiousness and had trouble with organization. Okay, so your self-discipline, organization, and diligence. How good? How willing? How how able you are to keep a routine and stick to it. How about that? Make a plan, stick to that as well. Okay, extraversion. Interesting. Measures energy, sociability, and assertiveness. So extrovert, introvert, that type of thing puts you on that kind of spectrum. I will say these are all spectrums, so it's not like on and off. These are all spectrums. So once you take the test, you'll see how much of you are on each side of the whole entire thing. So it's not a absolutely agree or absolutely disagree. It's strongly agree, more likely disagree type of deal. So it's that kind of spectrum there. It's not an on and off thing. So the extravision is catching me off guard. That's hilarious. Okay, agreeableness measures cooperation, kindness, and empathy. Okay, how agreeable you are. And neuroticism measures emotional stability, anxiety, and susceptibility to stress. So how neurotic you are. Great. It's awesome. You need a test to tell me that. Oh, man. That's hilarious. Okay. But once again, I want to stress, you can work on these habits. So if you lean high or lean low in the extraversion, olive oil, extraversion, then you know what? You can work on your social skills. That's 100% a thing. Something you can do. So basically, back to the whole talents versus skills debate. Some people have genetically markers, genetically disposed to one side of the spectrum or the other in each one of these. And good thing for you, you can learn habits to change that about yourself. And I just want to emphasize that's a thing. We can work on these habits. You let me know and message me on the Instagrams and email me and on the emails and ask me if you have any questions. We'll go through it together, okay, about the skills and about this test. Ocean Personality Test, or Big Five Personality Test, is widely recognized, scientifically validated tool that measures 5 core dimensions of human personality. All right, the ones I talked about. And it is scientifically valid. Developed over decades by researchers, it assesses individual traits on a spectrum to provide a detailed, stable profile of personality. Detailed. This is a great test. I love it so much, and it's very helpful. Okay, key details about the test. The accuracy, first of all, is considered the most accepted and scientifically robust model of personality in academic psychology. It's very interesting. Robust, they put in there. Scoring typically uses a 5-point Likert scale from agree to disagree. Oh, I think somebody said that already. For 50 items to measure how much an individual displays each trait. Completion time, usage, yada, 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 super nerdy stuff. We don't really care. Take your time, take the test, do what you need to do to get an accurate score, but you can change. This is definitely one of those tests, like the BDSM test, that changes over time. So not always accurate from a past test. So make sure you go ahead and take it on a regular basis if you want a more accurate result to be able to display to friends, family, partners, whoever. Just so you know, okay, the Ocean model is highly regarded because it's not based on a single proprietary test, but on general framework. All right, so not an absolute, and you can validate it worldwide. Okay, so what does the scientific part of it mean? If people don't know about this, so we have the scientific method. One part of that, for something to be more accurate or eventually become a law, and not just a theory or philosophy, is that people can replicate it and get a same or similar result. Okay, so a lot of the other tests don't have that backing. That's why they're not scientifically backed, robust, validated worldwide, validated. Specifically, in the word for validation or valid is truth. It has to be factual. So in order to be able to do that, you have to be able to replicate it multiple times and get a same or similar result. That's how you become scientifically backed. All right, Big Five model, as is also named, originated from lexical hypotheses, which suggests the most important personality traits are encoded in language. Raymond Cattell built upon earlier lexical work by reducing thousands of descriptors to 16 personality factors, later clustered into 5 global traits, with some considered the original Big Five. A bunch of nerdy people went in and did a lot of different things, which I'm not going to read all of it here for you because there is a lot of nerdy people that did things in the history of this whole entire test, and very interesting to see. Okay, let's see. So it's called It's accepted as the five-factor model, FFM. Hilarious. These four sets of researchers use somewhat different methods in finding the five traits, making the sets of five factors have varying names and meanings. However, all have been found to be strongly correlated with corresponding factors. And in 1884, British scientist Sir Francis Galton became the first person known to consider deriving a comprehensive taxonomy of human personality traits by sampling language. British American William McDougall, yada, 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 a bunch of nerdy people. Okay, so I'm just going to touch on the history of it all. There's a lot to go here if you want to do some research on that. Of course, I'll put the link in the description, either before the episode comes out or after at some point, which sometimes happens. There's a Swiss psychologist. Yes, the Swiss did something. In 1936, here we go. American psychologist Gordon Allport of Harvard and Henry Odbert of Dartmouth implemented the lexical hypothesis using the English language. They organized for three anonymous people to categorize adjectives from Webster's dictionary. Goodness, the result was a list of 4,500 adjectives they believed were descriptive of observable and relatively permanent traits. I can read, people. I'm telling you right now. This is just proof that I can read. Okay, let's skip to more recent times. 57... fourth edition, 6 factors were found to be present in Finnish people in 1969. Trustworthiness, self-confidence, rationality, uniqueness, tolerance, and sociability. No, just different words. Tolerance may be a little bit different. Okay, let's see here. 1981. How much did I put in my notes? I thought I had a final point here. Okay, here we go. 2007. Welcome to the Around the Kinky Campfire podcast advice line. Got a burning question about kink, BDSM, relationships, and or navigating the wild world of alternative lifestyles? You've come to the right place. Whether you're looking for guidance, reassurance, or just a nudge in the right direction, we're here to help. Judgment-free and with a dash of kinky wisdom. Send in your questions and let's talk it out by the fire. No topic is too taboo, no curiosity too small. We're all making mistakes, growing and exploring together. Submit your questions anonymously at Around the Kinky Campfire, campfire with a K, at yahoo.com, or slide into our DMs at Twitter, Kinky Campfire, campfire with a K, YouTube, Around the Kinky Campfire, campfire with a K, or Instagram, Campfire Kinksters, campfire with a K. Let's keep the fire going. Colin DeYoung and 2 other people concluded that the 10 aspects of the Big Five may have distinct biological substrates. This was derived through factor analysis of 2 data samples with the International Personality Item Poll, followed by cross-regulation with scores derived from 10 genetic factors, yada, yada, yada. And then we have one last one for my non-nerdy people. It's a lot of nerdy speak. Plus, by 2009, personality and social psychologists generally agreed that both personal and situational variables are needed to account for human behavior. Thank you. Back in 2009, these people were generally agreeing. They're personal and situational. So your personal experience versus your environment. It's great. Awesome. Okay. So with the time I have left, let us break down a little bit of all the different parts of this. We're sticking to the Big Five. I don't know where the 6th one came from. That's very interesting. Okay. Openness to experience is general appreciation for art, emotion, adventure, unusual ideas, imagination, and curiosity, and everything else. So everything that is considered an experience. People are open to experience, are intellectually curious, open to emotion, sensitivity to beauty, and willing to try new things. More creative and more aware of their feelings, hold unconventional beliefs, CBT, cognitive behavior, no, dialectical behavior therapy, DBT. Also being able to hold 2 contracting beliefs at the same time and both of them be true. Yeah. Okay. High openness people are said to pursue self-actualization, specifically by seeking out intense, euphoric experiences. Oh, they like drugs. Okay. Those with low openness want to be fulfilled by preserving and are characterized as pragmatic and data-driven, sometimes even perceived to be dogmatic and closed-minded. Disagreement remains about how to interpret and contextualize the openness factor, as there is a lack of biological support for this particular trait. Oh. And it's not related to brain regions. Okay. So open people are open more to experiences versus the data-driven person. I'm definitely like in the middle of this one. It's very interesting to see that some parts are open. It really depends on the area. So that's something I wanted to say. That's how it is. So here are some sample items. I have a rich vocabulary, vivid imagination, excellent ideas, quote unquote, excellent, interesting. Use difficult words, full of ideas, not interested in abstract ideas. I do not have a good imagination. So those are the kind of things. So I have a rich vocabulary versus I do not have a good imagination. Abstract ideas. So that's interesting to see that some people do not have, the people that are less on the open or on the other side of the openness, let's say that on the other side of the openness spectrum or factors, do not have a rich imagination. Interesting. Do not have a propensity for abstract ideas. I will say for me that I was very much on the not open side until I got more into the improv and the comedy bits of everything, and then I was like, oh, you know what, I do have an imagination. It's in there somewhere, just buried down deep. Oh, so cold. Yummy. Okay. Conscientiousness. Again, I hit it. Tendency to be self-disciplined, act dutifully, and strive for achievement against measures or outside expectations. So you're a self-driven individual. You are high on the conscientiousness. Related to people's level of impulse control, regulation, and direction, high conscientious is often perceived as being stubborn and focused. Low conscientious is associated with flexibility and spontaneity, but can also appear as sloppiness and lack of reliability. So, that is very interesting to see that it seems like the opposite. Being high conscious is bad because you're sloppy and disorganized. Yet you can focus, which is interesting. So I know a few people with the autism, as they say, I have those kind of things. I would argue, too, that if you are a neurodivergent type person, then that could come off very obvious to some people how you are, kind of, sort of. Yeah, sure. So that's interesting to see that there is a dissonance there. Interesting. So once again, kind of in the middle for this, for me. And there are, you can still be a functioning person, successful, quote unquote, that type of deal, even though you are high on one end or the other. Interesting. Okay, sample items. I'm always prepared. I pay attention to details. I get chores done right away. I like order. Conversely, I make a mess of things, often forget to put things back in their proper place, and I shirk my duties. Yeah, lack of focus. Fascinating. Conscientiousness. Ugh, goodness. Okay, extravision. Extravision. I don't have little vision. I have extravision. Okay, so extravision, as we know, introverts, extroverts, once again, characterized by breadth of activities, surgency from external activities, and energy creation from external means. Trait is marked by pronounced engagement with the external world. Oh, good Lord. I know where a lot of us are. Campsters out there, I'm pretty sure you know where you are too. Extroverts, interacting with people. They tend to be enthusiastic, action-oriented. As you know, this is a very funny thing because I talked about this a lot in one particular episode. Extroverts and introverts, yay, and ambiverts, woo, yay. They don't really have those for everything else where it's like right in the middle. There's another name for it, which is very fascinating in the ocean personality traits. So yeah, only one that has the ambi in there. Introverts, what are those? Have lower social engagement and energy levels than extroverts. They tend to seem quiet, Low-key, deliberate, and less involved in the social world. Their lack of social involvement should not be interpreted as shyness or depression, but as greater independence of their social world than extroverts. Introverts need less stimulation and more time alone than extroverts. Does not mean that they are antisocial. If you did not watch that previous episode, it is a energy conservation. Okay, do you get energy from interacting with the social world, or do you need your alone time? But you can be an ambivert, which is in the middle and interact in the social world, and not lose all of your energy. It might be a steady loss, but you might be able to retain some of it. People are a combination of extrovert and introversion, where personality psychologist Hans Easneck suggested a model which differences in their brains produce these traits. So, once again, we're back on that whole entire thing. Is it a genetic thing to be an extrovert or introvert, or is it the actions you do and the habits you have? Fascinating. You should test on your own and do your own research, people. Trial and error. Okay, sample items. I'm the life of the party. I feel comfortable around people. Commercially, I do not talk a lot. I have little to say. Don't like drawing attention to myself. I'm quiet among strangers. Yeah, that's the big thing for me is the stranger bit. Stranger danger. I'm good with I have my ampervision. Extraversion. Amperversion. Introversion. Vert. Interesting. Vert. So I'm an ambiversion. Comes out when I have like small group of people that I know, and anytime you put a new person in there, and then it's like, oh God, new person. Ugh. Okay. Got 2 more to go with a little bit of time left. Agreeableness. Agreeableness. Generally concerned for social harmony. And agreeable people value getting along with others. They generally considered kind, generous, trusting, and trustworthy. Okay, so whether you can trust people or people trust you. Also have an optimistic view of human nature. Oh boy, don't see that a lot. That's not true. In general, it seems like people are very nihilistic and less optimistic about the society nowadays. Ugh. Disagreeable individuals place self-interest among getting along with others. They generally unconcerned with others' well-being. Sometimes their skepticism about others' motives causes them to be suspicious, unfriendly, and uncooperative. Oosh. Yeah. Got a little bit of that too, but in general, I try to help all the people, and that's why I have a podcast. Okay. Because agreeableness is a social trait. Ooh, okay. Research has shown that one's agreeableness positively correlates with the quality of relationships with one's team members. Agreeableness also positively predicts transformational leadership skills. Very interesting. Very agreeable leaders were more likely to be considered transformational rather than transactional. Although the relationship was not strong, it was the strongest of the big 5 traits. However, the same study could not predict leadership effectiveness as evaluated by the leader's direct supervisor. Interesting. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Conversely, agreeableness has been found to be negatively related to transactional leadership in the military. Oh man. Okay. Interesting. For instance, in their article, claim that conscientiousness and agreeableness are important to success across many different jobs. Okay. Transactional. Fascinating. Got to do a little bit more research on that, which is better for a leader. Okay, sample items. I am interested in people. I have a soft heart. I take time for others. Conversely, I'm not really interested in others. I insult people. I'm not interested in other people's problems. Ooh, goodness. Yeah, there is very specific. That I feel like that is very close to the extraversion. Olive oil. Okay. And then lastly, we have neuroticism. Tendency to have strong negative emotions such as anger, anxiety, and depression is sometimes called emotional instability or is reversed and referred to as emotional stability. Okay, so your instability, not regulated or dysregulated versus your regulatedness. Classic temperament trait that has been studied in temperament research for decades, even before it was adapted. The FMM is similar but not identical to being neurotic in the Freudian sense. Oh, goodness. Okay. Prefer to call neuroticism by the term emotional instability to differentiate from the term neurotic in a career test. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Neurotic people are emotionally volatile, emotionally reactive, and vulnerable to stress. They are more likely to spontaneously experience negative emotions, and the negative emotional reactions tend to stay for longer periods of time, which means they are more often in a bad mood. Oh my god, that's not good. Highly neurotic people may display more skin conductance reactivity than less neurotic people. These problems in emotional regulation can make a highly neurotic person think less clearly, make worse decisions, and cope less effectively with stress. Being disappointed with one's life achievements can make one more neurotic, increase one's chances of falling into clinical depression. Yeah, so at that point, you need a little bit of help. Highly neurotic people, can you regulate your emotions? At the other end of the scale, less neurotic individuals are less easily upset and are less emotionally reactive. They tend to be calm, emotionally stable, and free from persistent negative feelings. Freedom from negative feelings does not mean that low scores experience a lot of positive feelings. They're related to extraversion instead. Okay, so you're not free from negative. You just react less. All right, and some sample items. I get stressed out easily. I worry about things. I am easily disturbed versus I get irritated. I often feel blue. I am relaxed most of the time. I seldom feel blue. Feel blue. Interesting. Okay, so where do you lie on that in them scales there, campsters? Take the test and find out. And I would say even if you are highly neurotic or highly not open or closed-minded, you can work on those skills yourself. I've talked about skills before, and this test will show you where you lie, but you should definitely take the time for yourself to figure out how you can make it in this world that we live in. Yeah. There are things like meditation will help probably with your regulation. That'd probably be something you should try out as a thing. Okay. Well, I could dive deep, as y'all know, and if you've been listening to a lot of these podcast episodes, that I talk about all these different kind of things related to all the different big 5 things in the ocean personality traits, and also the skills to help you work on it. I want, me, and I like to say I'm a socially awkward person recovering, but I'm still working on all those different things. So we're jumping back and forth on the extraversion and the introversion. Extraversion and the introversion. Amberversion. Oh man, the spelling just caught me off guard. Extraversion. Olive oil. Okay, that's it for now, campsters. Please rate this if you're listening on the Apples and the Spotifys, and you're on YouTube. Like and comment and subscribe, and catch us next time. Hit me up on the Instagrams, message me, emails, and if you have any questions, or let me know you took the test. How did you score, and what do you think about it? All right, but that's all for now from Around the Kinky Campfire. New episodes on Thursdays, video episodes on Fridays. This is H. Julius Marquise. I didn't think I even gave the official thing, or just Julius if you're feeling less fancy. Yeah, put that at the front. But anyways, I did it now. That's all. Hello. That's a wrap for this episode of the Around the Kinky Campfire podcast. We love having you by the fire, and we'd love to hear from you. Got a kinky question, a steamy story, or a topic you want us to cover? Slide into our DMs and send us a message at Around the Kinky Campfire, campfire with a K, at yahoo.com. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you're listening. Your support helps keep the flames burning and the conversations flowing. Follow us on Twitter, Kinky Campfire, campfire with a K, YouTube, Around the Kinky Campfire, campfire with a K, or Instagram, Campfire Kinksters, campfire with a K. To stay in the loop, join the community and keep the kink alive between episodes on Thursdays. Until next time, stay safe, stay sexy, and keep that fire burning.